Alrighty, what's good, y'all? It's Infinitus, aka Joe Poppy, and I'm here live with
DJ.
yeah, it's a pleasure, bro. Thanks for agreeing to do this.
Absolutely.
So we're here actually at a gaming event, actually sponsored by or no,
BGG, yeah.
BGG Rand. To be honest, I barely found out about them today. I was on Instagram, I seen the post. I'm like, let me go check it out, make some content there, talk to some people about gaming, and just get different perspectives. Since I've been giving you guys my perspective on gaming and what I do with it. Now it's kind of cool to see everyone else's. So the first thing I just wanted to ask you is like, how'd you get into gaming?
I got into gaming all my life, man. Like one of the things that I've done is my dad was a big gamer when he was a kid. So he used to go to arcades, used to run up the quarters and stuff. But as a kid, when I grew up, he had a PS2 in the house. We used to sit there all night long playing things like Mortal Kombat and used to play other little small games like Frog. I don't know if you know about that. They remade that game like one
Frogger,
time.
like the original Frogger, we got to get across the street.
Yeah, but then they also remade it in like for PlayStation 1. And I was like, oh. So as a kid, I was always surrounded by games, and then it just never went away. You know how they always say, oh, you grow up, you get out of games, but it never went away. So and then the transition from me wanting to play games to wanting to actually expand and say, hey, man, maybe I could play this possibly competitively. And I tried a little bit in high school, kind of fell off in college, but now, yeah,
Just
this
kind of
game has
coming
been
back
there.
to it.
Yeah, and it's not just it's not just those simple games. There's obviously like fighting games, racing games, shooting games. Like I used to play everything. Anything that you would let me play, I play. It's like I was even playing puzzle games. So like whatever happens, So,
Nah, I feel you. And then what do you think about it that like draws you into the game?
I think it's just the energy, right? It's one, it could be like escapism. That was my first thing. I was wondering if I used to play games just to get away from everything else. But as a kid, you really don't do that, right? You
Exactly.
use it as a way to communicate with friends or a way to have something to talk about when you at school. But like for me, I would say like that was what it drew into. Like some of the games that you play, so story driven. Like some of the Sonic Adventure games as a kid, that was my biggest ones. Watching the story unfold in like Borderlands. If you ever played a Borderlands game before,
Nah, I've
there,
seen it, but how's that game work?
it's like a shoot 'em up. So like it's RPG but shoot 'em up. So you got skill points and you build up your player. But
What shoot 'em up mean? To be honest, I don't know
so
what that
like
means.
you just go around. There's a lot of enemies in an area. You usually have to clear out the area by just shooting all the enemies
Okay.
there.
Are they other like real life people, or is it mostly computers?
Yeah, it's mostly real life people. So like the game is set in like a well, it's actually computers, but it's set in a fictional world where the goal is to find the vault, and the vault is itself is like a just basically another way of them saying like the end game, the secret layer that has all the special weapons and all this other stuff. And what you do is you play with one of four different characters who have special abilities. They can either phase through walls, get extra guns, or be like use a sword. It's all types of stuff,
Okay.
and most of them is just that. It's just like you clear out an area and then you go do an objective. So sometimes it's a fetch quest, which is where you just go get an item and take it back to another NPC, or you will just have to clear out an area of like bad guys. In this case,
They stay alive.
yeah, right. And it's one the classic superhero trope: one person versus million of enemies, and you win, kind of thing.
So you're kind of living out like a action movie in a sense.
Right, and it's that classic like good cop bad cop kind of thing, or in this or Borderlands case, it's heroes versus enemy, evil villain,
Okay.
someone who's trying to take over the world or keep the world's order or whatever, and you just come in and you're like, nah, we ain't having none of that. We want free will, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that's
So
lit.
yeah, man. But just that game, I told you, delve into the story. It's so much lore there, or hours and hours and hours of it.
Yeah, and kind of going back into one comment you made earlier in the conversation that still stuck with me is, and you kind of helped me with like a thought process and clarifying some stuff is when you said, as a kid, you don't really do that.
Right.
And I gamed as a kid. So, because sometimes I'm like, am I trying to escape something or something? Or like, like, nah, bro, this is just what you like to do. You did what you got to do for the day. Now you're here doing this.
Right.
And I'm glad you brought that up because I feel like, me personally, I just feel like that's going to help a lot of people. That
Yeah, absolutely, man.
it's like that concept right there, like, whoa, that just made a lot of sense for me. So I'm
Right.
just like, whoa, when you said that, I'm like, it just cleared. Like I felt like a little weight go off. Like, oh,
Yeah.
you're just doing what you love, and it's kind of cool to be at that point in life because my Instagram is actually more tailored to like the reawakening of the inner child.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of, and then the current flow that my Instagram is with a bunch of clips is like gaming.
Right.
So you kind of just made all that click right now while I'm in that mode of reawakening the inner child
Say that,
and
yeah.
expressing that. I'm in gaming, and then you said that, so it
Yeah,
just made
absolutely.
everything like boom. So I really do appreciate that, bro.
Absolutely, man. Remember that.
Hell
Escapism
yeah.
is never something we should. I say this like escapism should not be something that you should be crushing on, right, or relying upon when you feel down or bad about something, right? Sometimes it's, hey, like even relating this back to gaming, right? Sometimes it's for the fun of it. Sometimes it's for the
Sure.
honest actions of it. And in today's case, it's a community builder. Like it shouldn't be just a way to like, and I hope this helps out the people out there who think that like gaming is so still like, because it's still kind of taboo. It's mainstream now, but it's taboo where people say like, oh, you shouldn't be wasting all your hours gaming. I'm like, look at Twitch. Look at other things that are out there where you can stream and build a whole entire community surrounded by a love of video games. I mean, think about that in art. All forms of art, right? So, like you said, we build communities through music. We build
Man.
communities through
So what's the problem with building it through gaming?
right. So it's just another outlet, and I'm like, I really hope that that speaks to people because that was one of the biggest things. I don't know if you ever felt that way. Was like when you're a teenager, they always try to push you away from it. Oh, you need to get away from gaming because it ain't gonna do nothing but waste your time, or you can't really do nothing about it. And I'm like, well, you can though. Like if you told us as kids play, if you told us as kids to play those games, but then I get older, you say no. I was like, it doesn't really make sense to me because
I've learned
then
skill sets in there. I've developed myself through
right,
that. Just like the same way I've developed myself through playing games on the sport, in the sports, on the field,
right,
playing basketball. I've learned to work with people, coexist, how to get an attention. Then you're doing the same thing through
same
the
thing, same thing,
through the
and it's
platform.
all in the brain. It's all in the brain,
Really, all it
and
is.
that's the best part about it. It's like I'm thinking, I'm proactively thinking, I'm critically thinking, I'm doing all the same stuff you do in the real world. So like
And I can just apply that anywhere else.
exactly. So it's not about the lesson that you learn by just having a fun time. It's also about the lesson of, man, I can apply some of the stuff that's in these games. And remember, these are games made by people. So they're just expressing themselves through this virtual art too. So
Damn.
just got to remember, sometimes it's bigger than what you imagine. And always dive a little deeper if you can. Always.
Most def. It is really perspective and perception, you know?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
understanding that, how you're using things. Because it's funny how you say that, because one of the reasons, I mean, I like gaming regardless, but one of the reasons I'm in gaming right now is I use it as a sense to like train, because I'm an athlete, but since I'm rejuvenating my body at this point, had a couple things happening in my knee, my shoulder, my hip.
Right.
So I'm able to play, so I can play Madden, I can play a sport game, or I can play any game, honestly, because even
Right.
Fortnite, so I'll use a different example just to even show how it really is the mind.
Mm.
I used to play Fortnite in the sense of practicing boxing because I knew it's mental. In Fortnite, you got to build when to block, so
Right.
you build, and you move the build and you shoot. So
Right.
that is still training the same mental mechanics I would not physically, but I would use in a boxing match.
Exactly.
The only difference is now I'm physically throwing.
Yeah.
But you still need that aspect of the brain to make
Right.
that decision to then do it.
Exactly.
So while I'm still working on the body, I can keep that aspect fresh. I'm like, all right, that's cool with me. I'm gonna do that.
Right. Because if he swung left, same way you would build right.
Exactly.
Same thing, man. Same
Keeping
thing.
that aspect fresh. Of course, for when it comes to sport, you got to use the physical body, trade the physical body.
Yeah.
But if I'm training my physical body at a certain state and I can't be sparring people at the moment, I could still stay fresh in that way.
Right.
So,
And remember, it's a mental thing. So like you just said, bringing up boxing, like the mental game is to be patient, be calm, and then be aware. Isn't that not the same thing when you're in the fight for Fortnite? You're like, man, I got to see when is my chance to attack. Because it might be, he might pressure me and might have me on my guard, but then all of a sudden, I got to run in and get in where I fit in. So like, always mentals, man. There's always a way you can apply whatever you're doing to what you are training for. Like you said, that was a beautiful example.
appreciate it. So yeah, it's just always about finding your sauce, man, and getting creative and doing how you guys do it. That's why in a lot of my music or my freestyles, when I'm just messing around, I say I'm just doing me. That's what I really mean. Like that what you guys just heard is like another aspect. Like I'm just doing me. Whether I turn this gaming into a way to still train my body, enjoy community. I mean, not train my body, but train my athletic abilities, enjoy community and stuff like that. Some other person might have played the game and got nothing out of that. So that's what I'm saying by doing me, and I hope you guys do you. Of course, you can learn from what I do, and you could apply things that resonate, just like I do with the world. Anything I see, it could be an animal, it could be a person.
Yeah.
I apply all that, and I just do me.
That's true, man.
It's
Gotta
that
do
simple.
right.
Because at the end of the day, you're the only person here that could provide that experience.
Right.
Of course, maybe everyone has different beliefs, but at the core of it, we're all one, you know? we all come from the same source.
We
If you don't
do.
believe that, that's okay. But while we're here, we're still our unique expression of that same thing. So don't rob yourself in the world from that unique expression. It's something I've had to come really to like peace with and like understand and even grasp like, all right, so how do I even do that? So then you got to become self-aware. Not how do you do that, but being self-aware of the things you picked up that weren't even really you, you know? So
Right.
self-awareness and self-development are key. We'll keep going over those on this page, but I appreciate you, man.
Absolutely.
If there's anything you wanted to shout out in the video, I don't know if you're building a social media or anything, you're more than welcome. If not, just
None of the shout down in particular, just kind of saying the same thing he said. Remember to build yourself, build your character, build your motives, and remember that you really are you. You're uniquely you, and no one can change that. Remember that.
Right.
Live for you. I know there's a lot of people who want you to be like everyone. Live for you, man. Live for you.
It's really that simple. I know it
Lady,
might
woman,
sound cliche.
anybody. Live for you. That's all I
All
say.
right, brother. Well, peace out, y'all. Y'all know the deal. One love, love always, and in always. And make sure we keep it icy, baby. Peace. One love.
Peace.
Yeah.